Buongiorno, ciao a tutti, benvenuti. Welcome back to the doggy office kitchen on the road here in Bologna. Oh, I'm going out really late today. I had a lazy morning. I slept late. I fooled around with the stupid computer. I booked my day trip to Ravenna tomorrow to see the mosaics. Italy. The stupid website was the most ridiculous thing in the world. Just could not get the tickets booked. So in Ravenna, I remember studying Ravenna in art history class. It was really important in terms of Western art. But the mosaics, for some reason, I don't know. So there are 5 monuments in Ravenna, 5 places where you can see mosaics. So you can get a ticket with 2 or 4 or with 5. So first I tried to book all 5. Then you choose your time. Okay, 9 o'clock. I want to get there before everybody else. So the first place was from 9 to 9:05 entry. Second place, 9 to 6 o'clock, anytime. Third place, 9 to 6 o'clock, anytime. Fourth place, the only time that was available was 6 o'clock. Jesus Christ. So I had to start over, but it wouldn't let me start over. I kept closing and opening and closing and opening, and it still had all the information saved from before. So I opened a new browser, tried again. This time I chose only 4 monuments. Did all that, chose all the times, filled in my information. It kept telling me that I was missing something. I wasn't missing anything. There are 2 things that I was supposed to check. One said that you're military or clerical or whatever. I checked it. That didn't work. I unchecked it. That didn't work. It told me something was missing. Finally, I went to my iPad, but I was ready to give up. I was like, fuck Ravenna. Who needs to see mosaics if it's this difficult? So finally, I did it on my iPad. Checked both of the boxes, and it worked. I talk about making things difficult. It's like they want you to go to these tour agencies and pay more. That's what it seemed like. Oh, here's this cute little ice cream shop. I tell you, I like the ice cream here better than what we got yesterday because it was more local. It's like the wife is in there now. Or no, she'll give me a recommendation. The husband wouldn't give me a recommendation. All right, so let me tell you the plans. You know, these other YouTubers, they have their opening credits and their music and their little hook and, you know, they start off, they're all cheery and, oh, everything is so wonderful. We're at Office Kitchen. We give you the real experience of traveling in Italy. I'm not papering over anything. I'm giving it to you, warts and all. So anyway, I'm going to lunch. Oh, it's such a beautiful day and it's so nice just walking under these porticos. I mean, it's sunny and I don't mind sun, but I have to avoid it because of these stupid bedbug bite marks. Oh, dim sum. I already had Chinese food. Wow, this one's really pretty. I like the way we see like the corner, how it turns. It's supposed to enter the roundabout, but I don't know how. Does Apple Maps know that I'm walking? It smells like you're in here. I like this shot here, right here. I think I'm going that way. Wait a minute. I'm going this way. Yeah, I'm going this way. I have no idea. I'm just following the map. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm kind of cutting across. So I'm going to Trattoria del Tempo Buono. Good times. Good time, Trattoria. And I'm thinking I'm going to get the Lasagna Verde. It's green lasagna. You know, honestly, I wouldn't mind a nice roasted chicken. Oh God, there's this big mouth behind me. Oh, I know what street this is.
Destinazione Casalecchio.
Um, so that's the plan. I hope it's not super heavy, but I really would like just a nice little piece of grilled chicken with rosemary, some potatoes, and a little vegetable or a salad. All right, this is a really ugly one. It's more modern. They stuck with the portico. So I learned about the porticos yesterday because Bologna attracted students and they needed housing. They couldn't build up. They were able to build out. But that would mean that these streets were really wide, like most things in Italy. Non capisco. I don't understand. So they built out, and I said, and people slept in the portico. She said, no, they built a room on top. But it looks to me like they built not just one floor. So I don't know. That's the story. There are a lot of stories here. There was a story yesterday about tortellini. So some guy had an inn or something, and a woman came, and she was so beautiful, he thought she was Venus, who had come back to Earth, and he was spying on her through a keyhole, and he saw her belly button. And so he made tortellini to make it look like a belly button. Well, that's a really creepy story. So, a peeping Tom made pasta. Who the hell comes up with this shit? All right. So I am just going to walk a little bit. I'm going to cross Via Independencia, Via dell'Indipendenza, and then kind of go up at a little angle. I just want to look at my map, make sure I know where I'm going, and I'll come back if anything interesting happens. All right, I'm in some big piazza here. I don't know what it is. Some park over there. I had a story. Oh, yeah. So, you know, on Facebook, these stupid pickpocket videos keep coming up. I had an argument with a British woman. Oh, no, she wasn't British. I think she was German. Because somebody asked if Bologna was safe, and this German woman assumed she was American and said, you Americans, you watch these pickpocket videos and you're afraid of everything, and yet you have guns in the U.S. I looked at the woman's profile. She was obviously British. So I said, I like the way that you assume she's American and you disparage an entire culture. So then she changed her comment. She said, I didn't say anything about the culture. I said, yes, you did, and you changed your comment. She said, yeah, I did change my comment. I said, and now you're lying about it. She stopped. She stopped arguing with me. It's my hobby, arguing with people on Facebook. What can I say? So anyway, these videos come up. Oops. So yeah, I know. And now I kind of know what they look like. They're little groups of Roma, 2 or 3 people, usually 3, sometimes 4. One has a jacket over their arm. They crowd you at the doors on the metro. I know their tactics. I'm not going to be riding the metro that much anyway in Rome, but when I do, you can be sure my wallet will be in my underwear, so they're going to have to reach in if they want anything. So anyway, I decided I wanted to figure this story out. Let me tell you the story. In 2019, I came with my family. I had a free day because they all went to the Vatican. I didn't want to go again because I had been. So I wanted to go get a cannolo. Best cannolo I had ever had. Really, I'm supposed to turn here. At Giuliani Pasticceria Siciliana near Termini Station. So I walked to the metro, Linea A, near where we were staying. Go down. This woman approaches me. She looked like, she looked like, what do they call the nuns when they're not wearing the habit? A lay nun? Lay nun? Lay nun? She looked like a lay nun. Kind of frumpy, very conservatively dressed, a short haircut. And she approached me. My hearing is not that good. So she said something to me. I said, excuse me. She said, I have a ticket that has 1 trip left on it. Do you want it? I said, okay. I took it. I don't know if she wanted money. I didn't ask. She didn't say, do you want to buy it? She just said, do you want it? I said, okay, thanks. I went, I tried to use it. Boom, the fare gate closed on me. Police were standing right there. I showed them the ticket. They said, it's no good. I said, okay. So I went to the ticket window and I asked for a round trip ticket. That's where I was the other day. They said, we don't sell round trip tickets. So I was like, what the hell? What was her deal? She's giving me a ticket. She said it was round trip. It had 1 trip left on it. Oh, this is Via del Molino. This is where we were yesterday. All right, hang on a minute. It's supposed to be a piazza something. And I pull over here in the shade. All right, it's just up ahead. Let me finish my story. So they said, we don't sell round trip tickets. I said, okay. So I'm like, well, what the hell? Why is she offering me this ticket, telling me it's round trip? It's not. And then such a thing doesn't even exist. So I asked ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is really annoying these days. It goes into, don't let this ruin your trip. You don't be hyper vigilant. You know how to travel. I said, I just want to figure this out. So she probably just thought that it had another trip on it. I said, why would she think that if no such thing exists? So I said, what I think was happening was she thought I was going to offer to pay. I was going to reach for my wallet. I'd pull out some money. Whoever is working with her is watching me, follows me. They know now where my wallet is, and they try to rob me. So ChatGPT said, yeah, that's more likely. So I said, I've learned, especially in Italy, that if anybody approaches you, they're up to no good. So again, I got chided Well, that's not a good attitude to have because you're closing yourself off to experiences. I said Italians are not going to come up to me in a park or anywhere else and just want to start talking to me. And these are not Italians. She was British. The other guy was African. He tried to slip a bracelet onto my arm. He shook my hand and then he said, "Oh, we're friends. And here, let me give you a bracelet." He almost got it on my wrist and I pulled away. So these are all scams. Don't trust anybody and don't listen to ChatGPT. People are not trying to be friendly. They're trying to get something from you. I said the best interactions I have been with shopkeepers and people in official capacity. Those have been satisfying. But Italians are not like coming up to me looking to be friends. Italians don't talk to people. We're very, I know, we're very closed. Family and your individual group. We're not out there trying to make friends with strangers, especially tourists. So, ChatGPT, go suck an egg. All right, let's go to Trattoria del Buon Tempo. But let me tell you about this street here. Via del Moline. I think it's here. Where did I see that? Via delle Moline. So we came here yesterday, the first restaurant, which I really liked. If this Trattoria Tempo Buono doesn't look good, I'm going to come back to this place that we went to yesterday. So there was a mill here, a water wheel. That's where the street gets its name, and there are canals under a lot of these streets, like the one with that stupid little window that everybody lines up for. All right, so let's look for Tempo Buono. Get ready for a good time. Supposedly less crowded over here, a little bit far away from Piazza Maggiore. The other thing yesterday, I was sitting talking to the couple who was on the tour. We sat for about an hour and chatted after the guide left. All these people kept coming up trying to sell us cell phone chargers, massagers. They were giving me massage with this little thing. Beggars. So that's what you get when you're in the tourist area. And Kaylee, our guide, said it's not like that in Modena. So I'm really glad that I have Modena coming up soon. I still have to deal with Florence. Yeah, I think I know where I am. I think this is the church that has the statue on the column. I was here the other day. And yesterday, we passed yesterday too. So these people have to bother people while they're eating. Yeah, I think this is the piazza. And maybe I'm going over there. And I'm not going to sit outside because I don't want to be bothered. Okay, not yet. Now I know where I'm going. I'm going where I went yesterday, where I was like, where the hell are you taking me? And I ended up in the ghetto, which is perfect because that's what I'm going to do after lunch. Walk through the ghetto and then maybe get a dessert, gelato or something. Actually, I saw granita yesterday. I really wanted to just stop and get a granita. All right, here it is. And of course, it's full. All right, since people talk on their phones in restaurants, I don't care about talking and filming. So I tried a different tactic today. I said, I know everything's good, but what do you recommend? She just basically explained the menu to me. This tells you here's the legend, here are the creamy. I think she recommended the tortellini. But I said, is there a lasagna? And she said, yes. And then I think she said it's good. So here's the menu. All right, so they have, I guess, I don't know, these are antipasti, tagliere, misto, piatti, small plates. Tigelle, that's what we had yesterday, a little sandwich. Panzanella. Salad. I just get lasagna. So they have green lasagna. It's made with spinach noodles with ragu and bechamel. Or steak. It's interesting that this is a secondo. Palotte o cacio e uova. They're little meatballs made with just bread and cheese. €3 cover charge. Okay, we're gonna get lasagna. All right, so I forget what I ordered. It's a local rosé. It's nice. It's not sweet. The other one they had was Cerasuolo, which I know from Abruzzo. So I think I'll try the local. So I learned yesterday the IGP is another certification. It's one level below DOP. I don't remember the difference, but you want to look for these things on your vinegar. This one doesn't say anything, does it? Okay, so DOP means that everything needs to come from that region, kind of like Champagne can only come from Champagne, France. IGP means either the process or certain parts of it have to come from that region, but it's less strict, so it's a lower level designation. All right, we've got a nice salad here. Nice variety. All right, look at this beauty. So how many layers do we have? Gorgeous. So I learned yesterday you should taste it first before putting Parmesan on it. Parmigiano. And also, you don't usually get salt and pepper on the table. because the chef has prepared it perfectly. I'd say this is pretty perfect. It's going to fill me up for sure. So this other restaurant I was going to go to only does lasagna on Sunday. So good. Esquisito. Delicioso. Buonissimo. A little on the dry side because I would like a lot of gravy on my lasagna. But it's the noodles. Look at those layers. 8 layers, maybe. Really thin. Spinach, pasta. Looks like there is some cheese in the middle. Maybe not every layer. You know, some things that really struck me yesterday on the food tour was the science. And I don't know that it was how scientific it was, like that people studied and you know, they learn these things, they just kind of figure it out. But the science related to food and digestion. So the coffee at the end of the meal is to stimulate your digestion so that you digest your food properly. That's why you don't want a cappuccino because of all that milk. It slows down your digestion. But then you go get a gelato. That doesn't make any sense. And then also just things like Parmigiano. They use rennet, which comes from the inside of the baby cow stomach, veal, I guess. They castrate certain animals because castration makes for a better flavor and more tender meat. So Kaylee was saying you don't really want to be born a male cow because either you're going to die young, become veal, because cows were really expensive to maintain. So the females were kept alive for milk and for reproduction, but the males were killed young because they were expensive to maintain. The rennet from their stomach was used to make Parmigiano, and also they were sometimes castrated, older cows, for the meat. So, but how do they figure all this stuff out? There just is so much knowledge. The way that balsamic vinegar is produced, the way that Parmigiano is made, the way that, I don't know, just so many things. Wine even, but, you know, and the way that food is eaten, and somehow it keeps them thin. Meanwhile, our food has all kinds of preservatives and nitrates and additives and colorings and artificial ingredients, and no wonder they're all so fat. Era squisita. Oh, I know where I am. I was here the other day, but I don't know. This is the ghetto. So it's really good. This is Piazza San Martino. Just gonna wander until I find it. I know it's back here somewhere. I almost got locked in the bathroom. I couldn't get the door open. I was ready to start banging. All right, let me show you. This is Piazza San Martino. And then look at this pretty view back here. Oh God, taking a picture with me in it. Oh, perfect. All right, so here's Via dell'Inferno, which is Hell Street. And it's purely coincidental, it has nothing to do with the Jews being sent to hell. So this is part of the old Jewish ghetto. Via dell'Inferno. I like this. You know, if it wasn't so touristy, this would be a nice place to stay. Just this nice piazza here, close to restaurants and everything. But Bologna has a little bit too many tourists for me. I'm glad I'm checking it out because I am still looking for places where I might want to come back and spend a month. So I love Bologna, but it's not a month place because too many tourists. All right, so anyway, let me tell you about the ghetto. So I asked Claude a lot of questions. How was it formed and all that? Basically, the Jews were here first before the ghetto. And I said, but there must have been a reason why they chose these streets. So it had to do with location, because it's near the commercial center, and Jews were already restricted in the 12th and 13th century to certain occupations, money lending, I don't know why, certain mercantile professions. So they were near the commercial center. Let's see what this sign says. Al civico di questa via esisteva la sinagoga. Okay, the synagogue was here. Del ghetto in 1593. They were expulsed. The Jews were expulsed. And with them, the rabbi. All right, so this is a kind of plaque. All right, so where was I? So they were here. And then some idiot pope said that all the Jews needed to be contained. I think this was during the Reformation, the Inquisition, the Counter-Reformation. For some reason, there was this period of kind of a crackdown. So they had to be contained. So they were already in this area. These are old medieval streets. It was easy to just build a wall. And the walls were closed in the evening. They weren't allowed to leave. Now, it's so interesting, all the graffiti here. I like it. I'll take some photos of this stuff. All right, I'm heading towards the Jewish Museum. So then Napoleon came. He liberated the Jews. So I don't know that people really moved out, but they were kind of spread out a little bit more throughout Bologna. Also, the proximity to the university. So people came here also to attend the university. Mussolini imposed some racial restrictions. So doctors and professors lost their jobs, and students were expelled from the university. And then the Italians surrendered and switched sides, and the Nazis came in and rounded people up. So there were about 116 or so people that were sent to the death camps who died. And there's a monument or something here, a plaque. So there you have it. So Via del Carro, and then this nice little piazza. Breck, it's a good place for a aperitivo. So it's supposed to take me to Via Valdonica. And there's the tower right there. Ew, I just stepped on a dead pigeon. Just love the light and shadow here. It's so beautiful. But I wish I could see a street sign. It's a nice little spot here. So this is Via Valdonica. And then it says on your right is a museum. You're supposed to ring the bell. It looks like it's closed, but it's open. But I'll be damned if I... Oh, here it is. 9 to 2. Oh, damn it. After all that, it's closed. Claude, why didn't you tell me? All right, let's see where we are here. There's also Via dei Giudei, Jewish Street, the Street of the Jews. I don't know where that is. All right, well, so much for that. But anyway, we got to explore a little bit here, the back streets of Bologna. So now I'm going to walk over towards the Quadrilatero. Quadrilatero goes back to Roman times. Quadre, I don't know what it means. Grid, street. So that's where also I think the Jewish merchants operated. One is Via del Traperi, which was a fabric textile street, and the other is Via del Pescari Antiguo, fish street. Interesting, you know, the graffiti here, you know, we have a lot of artistic stuff, and then also there's some poetry, quote unquote poetry. Escape from monogamy's cage. Bologna was alone, a city. I don't know what that means. Can't translate that. But Free Palestine. Well, that's not very nice, but I do understand the sentiment. In a world of OnlyFans, be only lover. Wow, it's like a little art gallery back here. All right, I'm going to walk back down Hill Street. These cars are so quiet, you don't hear them coming. Okay, two things that I really don't want to see. Capri pants and athleisure wear. Unless you're like going to the gym, it's really just not something you should be wearing in public, in my humble opinion. Here at Upper's Kitchen, we give our opinions on everything. All right, so here's Via Canonica. And let's see where this takes us. I know where that woman just came out of. I want to go that way. Over towards the Quadrilatero. So pretty, the colors. I love that we have some green mixed in here with all these different orange and yellows. Are these garages? Wow. Piccolo San Giobbe. Uh-oh. Is this a dead end? Oh, crap. Nice little spot for a restaurant, though. It's not something people would walk past, but they have to make sure the food is good. All right. I think this takes us out of this. I think this is where I was yesterday. This looks familiar. Via del Ghetto. Oh, is this the tower? It's not the small tower, but I think this is a tower. All right, let's get out of here. I just went to the pharmacy. I got some Chicaplast. Chicaplast. So it's supposed to keep these welts from turning brown and permanent scarring. Telling you, here's a tip from Papa's Kitchen. It's always good to have a project when you travel. And medical emergencies are the best. Because you get to speak to really nice people in the healing professions. So I spoke in Italian. I said, vorrei Chicaplast balm. And she led me over to it and she started speaking English. I said, oh, you're speaking English? She said, yeah. So then I told her English is perfect. She said, yeah. She's like, yeah, of course. I said, you studied English in the university? She said, yeah. I said, for pharmacy? And she said, no, not for pharmacy. Because sometimes in some of these countries, doctors, pharmacists, for some reason their education is in English, but not here. Bologna. home of the first university. Oh, there's one of the towers. I love it. And I smell licorice. So I'm on this Via Altabella. Oh, it smells like licorice. It smells so good. Torone. I don't know what these things are. They keep trying to give samples. I thought they were potato chips. It's especially from Toscana. I thought they were potato chips, but they must be some kind of sweet cookie or something. Licorice. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, so she said no, she's just studied English in the university. Um, I think that goes to Via dell'Indipendenza. This is going to take me to the gelateria that we went to yesterday. Really pretty porticos here. And then inside there is the Quadrilatero. I'm starting to learn my way around here. So I said, how many languages do you speak? And she said, Italian, English. And then she named another one. She said, from Puglia. I said, oh, you're from Puglia. I said, I just came from Bolzano. Everybody speaks English, Spanish. Everybody speaks Italian, German, and English. She said, yeah, we don't speak German here, but we speak English, Italian, and our dialect. It was a really nice interaction. So this is what I'm talking about with Stupid Chat GPT. I'm not going to have those kinds of interactions on the street, sitting in a park and somebody's going to come up and start talking to me without wanting something. So I am being cautious. And if you're traveling, especially if you're traveling alone and you kind of are wanting some human interaction, have a medical emergency. Go to the pharmacy. They'll talk to you. All right, so here's the gelateria that we went to yesterday. Gelateria e Cremeria Vero. The guy was really stressed out. They have granita here too. Maybe I'll just get a granita. Except Giuseppe's having a little conversation here. I never say no to gelato. All right, so I got a granita. Comes in a different cup with a straw. Granita with lemon and strawberry. So I started in Italian. I said granita di limone. I hope I said limone and not lamone. And then he pointed to the cup, and I said, okay, questa. And then I said, quale meglio con fragola or mandorle? So which one is better, with lemon or almond? And he said, I think strawberry. I said, okay. I said, okay, you're the expert. So then I said, I was trying to speak Italian. I said that in English. He said, oh, molto bene. So we kind of went back and forth with a little Italian, a little English. I said, it's difficult to practice here because everybody speaks English. To speak Italian, they go right into English. And then he said, thank you, in English. And I said, grazie, in Italian. I guess we're both practicing each other's. Wow. Sour. Really good. All right, that was yummy. That was so refreshing. Let me show you these. Tortellini. 4 for 10. So cute. No, I don't know which ones I like better. I'm not gonna buy them today. I've seen this police officer every day. The Thai police officers.
You can push the door if you want to go inside.
They're like the guys on the front of romance novels. This is the little street where we went yesterday and had our coffee and then did our tour. And we're bothered constantly by people. And then up here, off from the cathedral, Piazza Maggiore. I don't know why, stupid ChatGPT just didn't tell me. It's this first street right to the left, Via Peschieri Vecchia. When I was looking for this, I was going all over the place. So this is the Quadrilatero. So this used to be the old fish there. This is the old fish street. Here's the name. Now it's restaurants and salumeria. Crowded. Let's see if I can get a little bit of cheese. I got some cheese and some artichokes. That was fun. So this is what I'm talking about. There's a theme to today's video. I'm responding to ChatGPT. Nobody's gonna talk to me sitting down here who doesn't want something, who's not trying to scam me out of my money. So I just had a really nice interaction with a young guy in that shop. He was really cute. He was wearing a little hat and a tie. He must have been, early 20s. So I gave him my line. I said, I'm not from here, obviously. But I'm gonna try a local cheese. So he pointed to my choices. I said, which one do you like? So he pointed to one. I said, okay. So then he let me try it. I'm glad he let me try it. It was soft, very mild. So not my favorite. It's kind of like, maybe like a mozzarella, but a little bit softer. So I said I want something a little stronger. Here's Nip. I don't know why he's naked. Put some clothes on, dude. There are children around here. So I said I want something a little stronger. So he didn't give me the taste of the second one, but he just pointed. They had one that was semi-dry and then one that was really dry. So I went for the semi-dry. So then, I don't know what we were saying. Oh, he was asking me, showing me how much to cut. And I was saying smaller, smaller. But somehow some Spanish slipped out. So I said, I'm speaking Spanish. He said, where are you from, Barcelona? I said, no, America. I forgot to say, but I don't like Trump. So I said, no, I speak Spanish, or my Spanish is better than my Italian. It's a tower. He said, but your Italian is good. So sweet. And then I went to the cashier. Oh, so I got some artichokes. And he said, this container, but I wanted to know what word he used. So I said, "What did you say?" And he said, "Pay at the cashier." That was not the thing I wanted to know what he said. So I missed that word. So then I went to the cashier, I paid, and she said thank you in English. Model. So Modena, Kaylee was telling us, in Modena, they don't really speak a lot of English. So that will be better for me there. Let's get a school trip here. Cool teacher taking the kids outside. All right, well, that was fun. Really good lunch. Nice granita. A few fun interactions with people. Nobody's trying to scam me. Nobody's trying to be my friend. And I'm fine with that. This church is always open. I wonder if there's a mass. And they're always beggars. Yeah, there's a mass.
Madre del buon consiglio, Madre del Creatore,
That's a recording.
Madre del Salvatore, Vergine prudente, Vergine degna di onore,
Wow, look at all these candles.
Vergine degna di lode, Vergine potente, Vergine clemente, Vergine fedele, specchio di perfezione, segno della sapienza.
All right. Feels a little weird going to a church that's active. It must be a recording, but I passed, every time I passed, it's been open, wide open like that. And something going on, like big masses. Sunday was Mother's Day. And then I guess I walked past on Monday, there was a mass. All right, I'm gonna get off this main street here, walk down the side street, and go back, take care of my wounds. So now I have a new cream for the red marks, and you should see my feet. There was one day I was sitting on the sofa. So if you're new, I got eaten alive by bed bugs in Bolzano in a beautiful Airbnb. Fancy, new, everything. Infested. So one day I was sitting there with no socks on, and I felt like I was getting bitten on my feet. Now I know. You feel like you're getting bitten, get up. Don't just sit there. What I learned is the reaction is delayed. So I guess your body has some sort of, or no, they inject some sort of a, what's this stuff that the doctors use? Like a numbing agent. Wow, so beautiful. This is the police station. So there's little fuckers. First of all, they're transparent, so you can't see them. The babies are really small, so you can't see them. And then you can't feel them when they're biting you. So it's not like you're going to look down and see yourself covered with them. And then they scamper away really quickly. So I was sitting there, I felt like I was getting bit. But I just sat there, I was really tired. I had walked a lot that day. It was raining. So my feet now, the bites, It must have been later. So the first bites were my arm. So those are pretty much healed now. So the ones on my feet must have been a later day, like right before I discovered what was going on. I think it was that day, Wednesday. So they're just kind of like still swollen. And then from walking around so much yesterday, you know, when I was on my feet, the blood is kind of pulled into them, so they're really purple. So my remedies are cold compresses. I have some little hand towels that I put in the freezer and wrap my feet, elevate them. You should see my contraption. I put a chair on my bed, first a towel, chair on top of the towel, a pillow on the chair, wrap my feet in frozen towels, cold towels. I put them in the freezer for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So that's the first cold treatment. Then I put the aloe vera gel on them that I got yesterday. Today I'm going to use this other gel that I got, which is supposed to help with the redness, healing the skin, and getting the blood to move. So I elevate my feet so that the blood drains, and I'm not going to end up with red scars, brown scars. I love the way the light is right now, making all these shadows. And also look how nice this street is compared to the street that I was on, that everybody's walking on. Barber shop. All right, that's it. It's hot. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Good lunch. Fun little exploration of the ghetto and Quadrilatero and Centrale. Tomorrow, Ravenna, mosaics. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.